This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by trainer Don Charles. The morning after Oleksandr Usyk retained his unified heavyweight crown against your man Daniel Dubois. Firstly, Don, commiserations on last night. I just wanted kind of your initial reflections on the fight before obviously we start to talk about a number of other topics surrounding it.
Well, it's well documented. Daniel Dubois had two separate fights last night. He won one of them and he lost the other. He won the first fight he had last night and he lost the second fight he had last night. He fought twice last night.
Walk me through what your initial hopes were for the fight. Obviously, we spoke beforehand about how you wanted him to approach it. Now the fight is done. Can you tell me a little bit more about how you expected to see Daniel go about his business?
Yeah, the plan, they followed plan. As I said, if we score a high percentage of what we rehearsed to do, that's how you pass on any examination, and he scored a high percentage of what we planned to do, hence why he won the fight.
Obviously, one of the biggest talking points, as we mentioned earlier on, was that what was called a low blow by the referee, not allowing Daniel to have what could have been a 10-8 count in his favour, may well have changed the nature of the fight. And you could be sat here now, the trainer of a unified heavyweight champion from Great Britain. Instead, that's not the case. Just simply done. What's your initial reaction now you've had a night to kind of think it over? And I imagine you've watched it back a number of times. But what do you make of it now?
Yeah, what I saw on the night and what I've seen since then, when I saw it live because I was right there when that punch landed. It was on the belt line, on target, and confirmation was when I then saw the replay immediately after the fight. I thought, oh my God, how could that not have stood? Yeah, so I'm distraught. My fighter is distraught. His family are distraught. My team are distraught. Yeah, and yeah, I usually got an awful lot to say, but I'm a bit confused because how such things are allowed to happen in today's sport. Boxing is in a bad way at the moment. There's all the drug cheats surfacing. And then you got a kid who took a fight many didn't want to do, yeah, away from home. We knew it was all stacked up against us, the odds, but we still believed that we can get the job done. I kept saying in all the interviews I gave prior to the fight, I said that we're treating it as a 6-round fight. In preparation, I said to Daniel, this is a 6-round fight. We're going to go there, gamble, give it our best, and see what happens. And they would have been concluded inside 6 rounds because we stopped him in the 5th round. That shot came in the 5th round, money shot, bingo. And the referee and the officials thought otherwise.
In the moment, Don, obviously I know you wouldn't have been able to watch it back whilst the fight was ongoing, but did you think it was okay just from your vision from the corner? Did you?
Yeah, I told you, I saw the shot land. Where it landed, we practiced that shot all throughout camp. Right, there's a few things we practiced, yeah, because we have to have more than one plan. There's a few combinations with practice, rehearsed. I knew one of them was gonna come in or come home, and that one came home. That was the one that we were after, yeah, and that came home. Bang on, well executed. I'm proud of Daniel Dubois, well executed.
Oleksandr obviously used the time that he was allotted to try and recover from that shot. When he did rise, you could see Daniel try to put his foot on the gas, and Oleksandr was circling away from him, trying to kind of continue to gather his breath back, feel more comfortable. Did you expect any more from Daniel in that little barrage that he had after Oleksandr rose?
It's easy for me to sit here and know. We had to box according to instructions. No. He was given too much time to recover because he was out already. He was having spasms. His body was having spasms because that's a reaction when you take such a shot. Okay? And what happened afterwards, like I said, that's when he entered into the second fight that he had last night. He won the first one.
Mentioning that you felt that he was a 6-round fight for him if he was to be successful, Don, with that in mind, how did you feel that Daniel started the fight? Because speaking to people around me, a lot of people felt that Oleksandr settled in quicker than what you might have liked him to have done.
Correct. Yeah, correct. But it was an evenly contested fight. There wasn't much in most of those rounds. There wasn't much in it. Alexander was winning the fight, correct. He's a boxer, a majestic, masterful boxer, not taking away what the man has or what he does. What shouldn't be taken away from us is what we possess. We knew we had that equalizer that will hit you and you'll go. And we hit him and he went. Why was he allowed to carry on? Should have been counted out.
You obviously had a huge Ukrainian following in the arena last night, Don. Did you feel like that might have influenced anything around the decision?
Come on, that's an understatement. That would have influenced the referee and stuff. But we knew that going in, hence why we knew we had to. In some senses, I wish that shot landed to the head, so it's a knockout where he's unconscious. Not for him to have any long-term injuries, no. But as when someone gets knocked out, I wish that was the case. Then they wouldn't call that an illegal blow, right? Okay, but it landed where we intended to land it because we know he's susceptible to the stump. He doesn't like that shot. Anthony Joshua hit him with the same shot. Okay, he didn't go down, but again, he lifted one leg up. You could see that, and then the referee again fell for it. He fell for that trick. Yeah, he's a con man, right? And it's sad for me to say that, to call him that. This is a guy who always crosses himself. He claims to be religious. I want to know what kind of God he's worshipping, because you don't lie in the name of God. You don't cheat in the name of God.
Don, in the post-fight press conference, you mentioned that in the rules meeting, you mentioned to the teams that you wanted it to be made aware of Oleksandr maybe having his guard pulled up high. And then obviously Team Usyk have come out and denying that conversation ever took place. Can you kind of tell me if you've got any more information around that?
It's too bad, because little did they know that someone in Daniel Dubois' dressing room happened to have recorded when the referee came into our dressing room and read us the rules. He said, "Do you have anything to say?" I said, "Yes. We need to make sure that Usyk's groin guard and his shorts finishes where it's supposed to finish." That's been recorded. They're not aware of that, hence why they'll put such a statement out. But I've got news for them, because that will be used against them.
I imagine it's going to become a very kind of sticky situation if you were to try and position Daniel into the chance to get that rematch that I know you would like him to have now. What is going to be the process? How do you go about this, trying to appeal to the WBA, saying to them, we didn't agree with the decision, we felt that the fight would have gone another way if you'd have had a 10-8 count. How do you feel like?
I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a promoter. We're going to put our cases through. Anything that with any lodging a complaint will all be done, obviously not directly from myself. We will aid our promoter, who is Frank Warren, and our lawyers we want justice here.
It's divided opinion over social media, Don. I'd say it's been kind of a split as to whether or not people thought it was low, whether it was high. And there's also two different angles. One shows where it does look low, the other one shows where it looks like it's okay. Just the beauty of cameras, unfortunately. What do you make of anybody who's doubting whether it was a legal shot?
You know, a lot of the society that we live in, there's a lot of people who make judgments because from their heart, where they don't want you to win. So their judgment is biased, is based upon, they already made a decision because they don't want you to win. For whatever their reasons are, I don't know. So anyone who's got two eyes and they can see clearly, yeah, let's have a panel. It's quite simple. It's documented, it's recorded in high definition, color. So it's not for me to sit here and say my word against theirs. No, it's recorded. No matter what angle you look at that from, it's on those who don't understand boxing. If you understand boxing, what the rules are, the boxing shorts are made the way they're made with those band. There's a band. That band is perfectly legal to strike a shot on it. They draw lines on football pitches, on tennis courts. Yeah, that line, provided the ball is over the line, means there's a goal. If it's outside the line, it's not a goal. So therefore, that belt line is the line. Imagine the line on a football pitch or a tennis court. That belt line, it's called belt line, on the boxer's short is the marker. So those who don't understand what a legal or an illegal blow, they need to know the rules first before they can have that opinion. Yeah, like I said, we're living in the days where everything is documented and recorded. Yeah, in high definition. So there's no, it's not for me to sit here and convince them. Know the rules first and foremost, and look at it again. And I will say a high percentage. I don't think it's a split. I think it's a high percentage. From what I've been told, it's been overwhelming from the general public. An outcry from the general public said the punch was a perfectly legal punch. If you watch Mayweather's, your Lopez's, all the boxers, they always aim, especially the American fighters, they always aim to hit you there, whether it's a jab or an uppercut, which that was, is an uppercut to the solar plexus we're aiming for, and it was on the belt line. And you saw Usyk's body. If it was hit where he said it was hit, low, yeah, it's a different reaction. He'll be clutching around the area he's supposed to have been hit. He wasn't clutching his where he's supposed to groin, where it's supposed to have landed. He wasn't clutching his groin. Yeah, his body was in spasms.
Don, we've seen for a while people mention the potential introduction, or we've seen WBC fights bring in the introduction of kind of video analysis for referees during fights. On the back of, for yourselves last night, do you feel like that needs to be taken more seriously now?
Because it's personally happened to me now. Yeah, I think it should be really. I should really look at it because it keeps happening. It happened to AJ when AJ fought him. The same thing happened. You can go and see it. He turns away. The referee is almost in shock when Usyk does it. Coincidentally, it was the same referee. He was deemed to be a high-level referee. If you can't make those decisions, then I'm afraid you should get demoted. And any job we do, if we keep getting it wrong, we get demoted. In some cases, we get sacked. I could have lost my job last night. I don't know. I might still not have a job. I might not be seen good enough to train Daniel Dubois. Who knows? It's too early. I don't know. I might have lost my job over that. So why should the referee keep his job? If he gets it wrong, he got it wrong.
Did you speak to the referee after the fight or anything?
It falls on deaf ears. I was trying to speak to him about it, but it's too late. This fight's done. We lost the second half of the fight. The two fights we had, we won the first fight and we lost the second one. It falls on deaf ears, no matter what I say to him.
Don, how is Daniel doing at this moment?
Not very well. I saw him this morning in his room. I've got to go back to his room. He won't come out of his room. This is distraught. We're distraught.
He's a young boy. He's a young man rather. As you've pointed out to me earlier this week. Regardless of however this situation plays out, he can still obviously have a bright future in the heavyweight division moving forwards. And whether or not you are involved, you've said that he's like a son to you to me earlier this week. So with that in mind, how do you go about kind of lifting his spirits now and trying to get him back into a more positive mindset? I know it's difficult to say at this moment in time, but how do you go about doing so?
Well, it's a collective effort. He happens to come from a very tight, close family with a father who's solid as a rock. So that helps in cases like this. And I'm going to do what I do best. All these kids who I train, they're all my children. I treat them like my children. And I will do what I do. I'm good at mentoring. I'm good at psychological work. It's not just all physical. He's only been with me 17 weeks. So if we can do that in 17 weeks to get him to challenge and put such a fight on a guy who's deemed to be one of the best boxers in the world, pound for pound, then yeah, we imagine 12 months down the road of what I would do with Daniel Dubois against an orthodox fighter. That was southpaws are tricky. We know that. Usyk is up there. He's a tricky southpaw. I'm not for one moment taking away the man's his worth, Usyk that is, but I'm disappointed if he has to resort to cheating to win. Then I'm sorry, I haven't got time for him. It destroys and spoils everything how I hold him. I hold him in high regards as a fighter who's fighting for himself, is fighting for his country. I totally understand. We too have a country. We come from somewhere, okay? And it should be everybody should be on an even playing ground, man. Let the winner be declared the winner. and let the loser be declared the loser, and don't be declared the loser when you actually originally won, and it gets taken from you. That's not cool.
Don, I spoke to you earlier in this week when I arrived in Poland, and I asked you, um, some people have suggested when the going gets tough for Daniel, will he rise or will he kind of falter and just back away from the fight? People refer to the Joe Joyce fight, and of course the Kevin Lorraine fight where he came through the fire. Last night, a few comments suggesting maybe I don't like saying the word, but as I'm not a fighter, but he quit. What do you say to anybody who has those opinions?
Yeah. Right. I've heard this before. I actually did an interview a little while ago, and again that subject came about quitting. I think he answered all the critics when he against Kevin Lorena. He came up from one leg and still beat a man. If that's resurfaced again about him being a quitter, I challenge any man that calls Daniel Dubois a quitter. Come and say it in front of me, because I'll deal with them personally. I'll show them what a quitter is.
Don, I appreciate you doing this interview. I know it's probably not been an easy one for you.
It has to be done. Normally, when you're proud, when you're in the right, you're strong. You can't be right in a weak position. Yeah. Yes, I feel my morale is low. Yeah, but I'm intact, because we have to be strong to fight this, because you can't hide away, you can't run away from this. This yeah, yeah. It's an injustice, and I think justice here should prevail and will prevail, I believe.
Don, I appreciate you doing this interview with me this afternoon. Safe travels back to the UK. I hope obviously yourself and Daniel can somewhat try to enjoy your remaining hours here in Poland. But yeah, thank you for speaking to me, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, God bless you.